And welcome to another edition of Millennium County. Now today we're going to do a little bit of skirt installation. I guess you can call it a skirt or whatever's above the skirt. Not really sure, but anyway, we're going to do two small sections here. I cleaned up a little bit, as you could probably see. It was getting a little messy in here. We can't have that. So anyway, without any further ado, I've already pre-drilled two holes at 1 and 4 inches apart. That's going to go right over here. I'm thinking that that's right about where I want it there. That looks like it'll probably work. I've got these screws here with the little washers on them. So, this is the toughest part when you're doing the first one. There we go, that was the first one in. And you can see here that he's got these little washers here that the screw sits in on. I couldn't use the traditional screws that I used everywhere else, but because they weren't long enough. But these will work just fine for this. Now, this is where it's nice to have more than one drill. You can have both set up, one with the drill bit and one with the Phillips bit or whatever bit you're going to be using. But we're going to use here is this square. Alright. That's our marks for the holes. Now we'll go ahead and drill them all. Take care of the pilot holes. Okay, now we'll get a few of the screws set up. This is always fun to do, not. Just to know, even though this is sort of fun, building a train layout isn't all fun and games. Sometimes you actually have to do a little bit of work. Not a lot, but a little bit to get the job done. Of course, though, after you're done with all the hard work, then fun will be derived from it. And really, a lot of this is kind of fun, too. It could be tedious at times, but that's the nature of the hobby. It wouldn't be much of a challenge if it was so easy that you didn't have to think about what you were doing. So, you know, this is all part of building your layout. Seems like we're a little low over here. Yes, we were too. We better start over here then. There we go. Looks like we're fairly level. Alright, 2 more to go and then we'll be finished with this one. Then once you get the initial first 1 or 2 drilled, the rest pretty much fall in place. There's 1 and 2. By the way, I got all these fittings from Home Depot. You can also go to Lowe's. Either one would have them. I suppose there's any, you know, I could give you the number of the screws and the washers, but every layout is different. And therefore, what might work for me may not work for your layout. So, I'll leave that in everyone's capable hands to figure out what they need. But these came out, they look pretty good. I'm going to have to add a few more. Yeah, I'm going to have to probably tighten these up with 2 here, 2 here, and 2 here. That's just the nature of the beast. They want to, The wider ones, and of course it was a bigger area, they went in without any real fanfare. But these seem to be taking a little bit more. No big deal. It just means a little more extra growing and what have you. So I'm probably going to pause here. I'll get that done. And I'll come back in a little while and we'll do that side over there. So, but we've got some sanding to do there, so I'm going to have to break out the belt sander. And we've got a little bit of work to do. And I'll show you why after the break. So, stay tuned. I'll be back in a bit. And I'm back. So, I pre-drilled the side piece there. But what I've got to do is, I've got to take this down so it's flush with the 2x4s. Same with this here, so I'm going to use this grading tool. It shouldn't take too long. Hopefully. Okay, that ought to do it. For that, anyway. Now, and squeeze all the way over here. Squeeze it is. I got the same problem here. Unfortunately, now I got wood. The under panel. What's going to happen with that is I'm going to have to take the belt sander to this. I don't see any other really easy way to do it. So, I'm going to pause a minute. Get the belt sander out, and we'll be back for a little bit of sanding fun. And I don't really mean it's fun, but it's something we gotta do. Hang in there, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Got the good old-fashioned belt sander. I'll tell you, sometimes it gets really tight in here. Alright. See how much of a mess we can make here. I'm going to go ahead and pause this. And I'll pick it back up when we get the sanding part done. And we'll go from there. Alright, we're back. And it was pretty late last night, so I just called it a night after sanding this all down, but it's now smooth with the 2x4. And as I stated earlier, I pre-drilled this. So all I've got to do is screw them in. Once I set my height. I suppose what I should do is go ahead and at least put one clamp up over there. So I won't have to fool around with this too much. Alright, there's our clamps. They look pretty good for height. Maybe. Yeah, right there. Just lamp out of the way for now. Alright, so we'll go ahead and set up our, I don't really need these long ones. I think we can get by with the short ones again. We'll find out here in a minute. Alright. Yeah, spend more time getting prepared than I do actually getting anything done. Alright. Oh shit. Alright. Like I said, this is the toughest part. Getting the first couple of screws in. Try this one more time here. Okay, there's the first one in. Whew, that was a job. All this prep, lots of prep. Guess you get it started if not all the way finished. Go. All right. Hate when that happens. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and pause for a minute. We'll come back when I get these all done. And we'll see the finished product. So just hang in there. We'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. And we've got it done. It's all mounted up there now. I'll have to buy more of this fiberboard for this end cap here. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough left over to do it, but I'm going to have to get more anyway. I could probably get by with buying a half sheet, because I just need small sections here and there. You know, I want to put it on this drop part of this drop-in piece. You know, along there. And of course, along the front of that. And then over here on the side. So, that's what we're going to have to work on. And we'll just go with that. So, that's about all I've got to show you this time. Well, that's not true. I remember in a previous video we talked about the pass-through. Well, I've had some changes again. That's the beauty of this hobby. You can change your mind like a woman. For you women, I apologize, but you know, it is what it is. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to have a motorized bridge for the passenger rail, which is the one closest to the door. I wanted to go with a basculed bridge, and I still might. I'm not completely written it off yet, but I'm actually more inclined to do a vertical lift bridge. And of course, I'll have to home make it because obviously they don't make anything that I would need. And I want it to go up high enough to where I can literally walk under it without having to, you know, wrap my head into it. So, that'll be like almost like a parking. In its park position, it'll be up high, but otherwise it'll just, you know, it would only maybe float maybe 3 or 4 or 5 inches above the track. But I'm actually in the room during an operating session, so. But I think that might be the smartest way to go, because I really need to have this stuff up out of my way. I can't really bend under things anymore. So, you know, do that for the passenger rail, and for the three track freight rail. I'm still thinking of a tip up. It makes the most sense. And I may even motorize that. I don't know yet. Like you said, the less I have to deal with things, the better. And it's a lot easier to push a button than it is a full round manually upping and lowering things. Raising and lowering, excuse me. But the motorization of that may be down the road. But ultimately, though, that's going to be a tip up. I wish I could have done a slide out. Like one of my fellow railroaders, he just did a video on that and did a beautiful job, by the way, but he has a bigger area. And of course, his track is straight and straight, where mine is like this. You know, it's like at a 45 degree here and a 90 there. And they would literally have to be both set at 0 or whatever, 360. I don't have that option, not without tearing up a bunch of bench work that's already set. I don't want to do that, and honestly, I don't think I could really, it wouldn't work no matter what I did, because I simply don't have the physical room in this area that I call a train room. So that's what I'll be working on here in the near future. Well, actually over the next several weeks, I hope. I'd like to be able to start running these trains. Everything's basically in to do it. Just got to finish up the track. I've got that pasture area, which of course, there's nothing connecting them. And over here where the Joe's Lake is, or Lake Joe, I still got to connect the tracks over there. And I may do that here pretty soon. And of course, I'm going to have to run the track cleaner around. I've got a homemade track cleaner that let's see if I can show it to you here. There it is there. It's hard to do this when you can't really see what you're doing. It's battery operated, so it doesn't rely on track power, which of course is perfect. So I just keep, I run that around the track, a dozen or 30 or 50 times until the track is clean. And go with that. So that's another reason I want the turntable too, so I can actually keep that on the tracks and park it on, the wayside here. Roll it onto the turntable, swing it around to the track, to the main line, and let it do its thing. So, and I would probably do that like off operational hours and let it run for an hour or two. It's a rechargeable battery on there, which I got from a company called Bang Good in China. It was kind of pricey. It was $11 for the battery, but I'll tell you what, it's got a USB port on it. You plug it into a USB cable and it charges in about 2 hours. You can't go wrong. And it's lithium polymer, LiPo. So it's lightweight, charges fast, holds the charge a fairly long time. And the discharge rate's also pretty good on it. So it was the perfect pair-up for a self-contained cleaning car. I may order a cleaning car that you pull behind the engine, because right now I'm using this is really definitely homemade, and I didn't put a lot of thought into it, but I've got this little area here. Let me turn the light on here. Hold on a second. There's the light. There we go. Light, yep, light's on. Okay. You can see over here behind the engine, there's a little box, and it has the 3M pad underneath of it, and about 5 pennies inside for weight, and it's on a little weighted spring or hinge on here, and it just basically drags along the track. It's very simple, but it does the job, and you really can't go wrong with that. So that's the plan for that, and that was an engine that a friend gave me. It's an older DC model, and I could have went ahead and put a DCC encoder in there, or decoder in there, but I didn't really want to fool with it. So I'm trying to get basically new engines for that, but it makes a good cleaning car. And I've got another one over there that's also it's gonna be a static car that was given to me as well. I think both of those are. They're both static cars. They don't run, and they're perfect for just scenery on the layout. So that's where we're at with that. So anyway, I did clean up a little bit. Still got a little more cleanup to do. It seems like it's a never-ending battle with the cleaning. But that's what it is. So, but anyway, yeah, I want to get started on that vertical bridge. If I can get that in, I could at least run the passenger rail. Because I still need to check these tracks out for hopefully there's not going to have any derailment problems or any other issues. They look good, but until you run an engine and a couple of cars on it, you really don't know. So the sooner I can get to that, the better. And of course, another problem I've got, either way, whether I go with a bascule bridge or a vertical lift bridge, is this upper staging area. I wasn't thinking when I built it, and it comes out straight. It really needs to be, I need to have it cut back like this. You can't really see that. Cut back like this at an angle so it follows the angle of the bottom bench. And maybe back maybe 2 or 3 inches to clearance for whatever bridge I wind up using on there. It's a little difficult to explain and probably tougher to even visualize, but so I've got to take this back off and trim it. That shouldn't be too big of a deal, but it's still a pain in the butt. So I'll get that done, and that'll probably be the first thing to do before I do anything. Like I said, I wasn't thinking when I built it. It happens on occasion, you know, you don't think. So anyway, we'll get that straightened out. And stay tuned for more episodes of Millennium County. We're getting to the point where we're going to really start taking off here pretty soon once I get past these small problems. Oh yeah, another issue. I'm just full of stuff today, aren't I? Over here, I can't lay these tracks permanently yet because I want to get an engine house. I don't know if I talked about this earlier or not, but Pros is in England. They make a lot of HO and O-scale stuff. They have, it's a really nice looking, it's an O-scale engine house or engine shed, engine facility, I'm not sure what you call it. And they're going to make an HO one in the same design. It has electric doors on it. It's lit up. I guess it's fully assembled. And it's a really nice modern facility. So I want to get that. I have to wait for them to come out with it. They don't have a date so far. I'm hoping before the year's out. Because really, until I get that, I can't do much in this area as far as pinning down track because I don't have any dimensions of what the shed's going to be, and it's going to be a 2-track shed. So I have to make sure I have plenty of room between the rails and the rails that go in it. Same with length and what there's just a lot of measurements to be taken into account. So as soon as I get that, then I can pin all this stuff down and actually wrap up the turntable area. Until then, it's, well, it's not really going to be fully operational as far as, you know, utilizing the tracks or, you know, storing engines on it to any great degree. I mean, I'll do what I can, but it's really just it's up in the air as to when they're going to come up with this thing. Hopefully it'll be soon. I'm hoping the next month or so, maybe sooner than that. They better get cracking. But as soon as I can get that ordered and get it in here, then I can wrap this up. So that's where we're at with that. Now, if you're not familiar with Pros' hobbies, I said they are based in England. They, I think there's free shipping. I'm not 100% on that, but I bought one thing from them already. It's a device to lay the ballast on the track. It's really nice, fully adjustable. You use an engine to pull it, or you can do it by hand, but it's really nice. It does a good job. It's completely customizable as to how much you want to put down, what angles and all that. It's just very nice. It was kind of pricey. I think I paid $40 for it, American. They also have another device that glues the ballast after you put it down. It's electronic. It's almost $70. And once again, you can either run it manually or pull it with an engine. But it consistently glues your ballast down without messing it up. So I'm going to invest in that at some point too. They also have some other pretty cool stuff, but you know, you need to go on the sites proses.com for anybody interested in it. Some of the stuff they got there I thought was kind of lame, but they've got other stuff that's really cool. and really useful. So check it out. And I guess that's it for now. So until next time, keep railroading, and we'll see you soon. Bye.